What's good, YouTube? It's your boy pigandmeh here, and today I'm going to try something a little different. Generally, in the process of these little deck profiles, you only ever see, the finished result with maybe a bit of explanation as to card choices and whatnot. But with this video, I figured I'd try something a little different, where I just kind of show a bit of the process all the way through. So here's something I'm going to call conception to locals. Alright, in this I'm going to show you guys a deck, kind of a idea of how I theorio everything, and then tell you guys how it's going along through the process. So, what's the deck in question for this? Well, it is this. Yosenju. I bet you're curious why would I build this deck. Well, to be honest with y'all, it's just kind of always been one of my favorite decks. Always had it in the back of my binder, and I saw MCole40 posted a video wherein he showed off a deck profile. So I decided to kind of use his build, saw what I had in my collection to build something, and then just kind of worked on it from there. Generally, whenever I'm building a deck, I first like to do test hands and whatnot, kind of see how card ratios appear in my hand. So here's kind of a rough take I took on the build. Start out 3-1, 2-2, 3-3, 2 Sook, 2 of this new-ish guy, Insna, 3 Ash Blossom, triple Formación de Fuego, 1 Demise, triple Duality, 2 Extrav, 1 Feather Duster, called by 3 Yosenju Sword Swing, 3 Crackdown, 2 Drowning, and then a solemn package of 1 Warning, 3 Strike, and 2 Judgment. The extra deck is just some extra stuff of 1 Durandal, 1 Lambda, 1 Boral Sword, 1 Chakanine, 1 Dryden, 2 Cowboy, Castel, Chidori, Double Dweller, 2 Tiger King, and 2 of this new guy, Despacito. Side deck is just kind of some random stuff I threw together that I know is good, and stuff in the past I've known that works well with the deck, or at least, just cards that are really good right now. Alright, so what are Yosenju? Yosenjus are a series of level 4 Wind Beast Warrior monsters that all return to your hand during the end phase of the turn that they are normal summoned. Each of them kind of has a different effect depending on, if you have another Yosenju on board, with 1 being a compulse, 2 being able to attack directly, 3 being a reinforcement of the army when another Yosenju inflicts damage, and then they got the form of 2 hand traps. Sook, which is like either an honest or a 2000 beater in and of himself, or he can actually boost 1 on field. And then this newer guy, Isna, who can act as either a miscellaneous Aerosaurus, or he just gives you a draw. All these guys are kind of just an archetype of put bodies on board, control the scenario that's going on, and dictate the tempo of the game. They also have one notable theme-specific trap card that lets you reveal up to 2 Yosenjus with different names in your hand to return face-up cards on your opponent's field. Now, in the past, the deck utilized the card of demise because you could stack your effects at the end phase to discard your hand and then have their return effect. But with card of demise at 1, you now have the ability to play mainboarded hand traps in this deck. So why this? Well, to be honest, I kind of just wanted to play a more stun-focused deck that uses a lot of trap cards because I've been playing a lot of combo or build my board and try to break this style decks. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to do something a little different. Also, I got these Spanish tankies and I just wanted an excuse to use them. So, with all that in mind, let's take this to Dueling Network and test this shit out. Alright, did a few games. Deck tested real well. I guess some things of note right now. This card is insane. Like, legit. Just super duper good. This is a really fun addition because Trident is still a strong card. He pops stuff. You don't really need your extra deck, but yeah, this is a super cool, cheeky thing. And this guy's just a Gaia Charger. Something I am going to change though is probably just drop you for Third Judgment, because if for some reason you ever get Lightning Stormed, you lose. Hey kitty, how are you doing? Oh, you're just exploring around. Look at the kitty. Yeah. Yeah. What's up, y'all? Just a quick update. Been doing some online testing with this. Got a couple extra cards, doing some changes and whatnot, and I figured just do a quick update. Trident is still insane. A great card to just kind of, in a pinch, you know, make as a, you know, card to make people answer. This deck has a lot of inherent flaws in that it doesn't really like do that much board breaking, nor can it really capitalize on a lot of scenarios. So yeah, I'm still trying to fix that. That's why you see it's 2 slot, just random set of cards I need to figure something out with. But on the positive, I did pick up Third Extrav. I decided to drop the Demise because I really like this guy a lot, actually. He's a super good card. And when sighting this Gamma package, plus Prankertops are almost always auto add-ins game 2, whether I'm going first or second. Dimensional Fissure's kind of underwhelming. And yeah, I'm not sure if I should main this or should side the Cyclones. It's kind of difficult call to make because I don't know what other back row related shenanigans or floodgates I'm likely to deal with. But yeah, there's just a small little blurb of what's going on with this. Vocals time, let's do this. High or low roll?
Let's just do high roll.
Nick, you gave me a loaded die. We rolled 10 3 times.
Is that a 1, right?
Hey, bro.
Yeah. I guess I'll go first.
Sure.
Alright. Good luck. Have fun.
Good luck. Have fun. It's like the common Yu-Gi-Oh phrase from dueling books.
That's what I always put. Let's do this. Alright, Yugi Tube, here we are. At the conclusion of this video. Took this to locals. Unfortunately, there wasn't a huge turnout because, you know, COVID and stuff. But instead of doing a box tournament like we were originally going to do, they just ended up doing a regular 8-person tournament with the prize support being just the new Astral Pack being everybody's prizes. And I piloted this deck to a 5th place finish, which isn't that great, but the record was still X1, so worth at least mentioning. And also, I pulled that. So yeah, real quick. My matches were Unchained, Cyber Dragon, and Dragma Invoked. If there was anything I learned, it's that my extra deck should have been all those Fusion and Invoked card, or Invoked Dragma counter cards, because that kind of put me in a tight situation not having those. But Cyber Dragon was just kind of I'm a hard counter to that deck, and the Unchained guy thought he was going to do something cool and ended up getting OTK'd twice. It was funny. So yeah, so here was the final deck I played. Alright, start this out. What I learned is if you're going to play Yosenjus, this is what I would recommend personally, because all of these cards were absolutely like the best ratios in terms of main deck performance and easy side options. Started out 3-1, 2-2, 3-3. Searcher can attack direct, returns a face-up monster on the field to the hand. These guys absolutely rule, and I would not change this for the world. As well as 3 tankies, which is the most necessity because it's essentially 3 reinforcement of the armies. Also, double Sook. I usually sided one out. There was only one game I regretted doing that because I could have hit or ended it sooner by hitting someone for exactly 2,000. And this guy, surprisingly, put in a lot of work. One against the Cyber Dragon guy, because just turn after turn I kept yelling, "Booster!" and then punching him. It was quite great. Now, in terms of newest support cards that they released, these 2 cards are absolutely fantastically wonderful, and I think playing them at any less than 3 right now is not what I would do. Like, you could theoretically argue this guy, but he did so much work today. In testing, I normally used his draw effect to a fantastic degree, which is why I ended up not playing the, I think it's Card of Demise or whatever. But even so, in one game, multiple times, I just sent him, summoned all of these guys, and then just proceeded to Roftel stomp my opponent's face. And this card was just utterly insane. Like, legit, this is a fantastic card. Even though it targets, it was just too good not to run at 3. I was very, very happy with these portions. And I would have to say that these 2 newer cards absolutely overperformed. And this guy is just super good. Other deck thinning cards, I just went with 2 Duality, 3 Extrav. Your extra deck doesn't matter in the slightest. And you actually can just do normal summons and punch. So, yeah. This is pretty much all I thought it needed. Now, in terms of defensive traps, the reason I didn't also play Demise is because I wanted to play hand traps, but awkwardly the only hand trap I really mained was Ash Blossom, and she did exactly what she needed to do, and 3 is absolutely necessary. I played 2 Drowning Mirror Force, didn't resolve it once, usually sided 1 out at least. This card way overperforms every time, and it is absolutely crazy. You just steal a card and then they kind of can't follow it up. This card also overperformed because just strike stuff for days and then usually stop people's entire line of play. And then Judgment was there to just say no to things that I absolutely had to. I use these a lot. I either won or lost because of them, or yeah, but I absolutely do not regret playing that quantity in the slightest. Earlier, I mentioned that there was 2 flex spots in the deck, and I combed and combed and combed through my cards to see what I could fill the 39th and 40th slot with. The card I decided to try out, this Ancient Warrior Loyal Ganyun. He's a Wind Beast Warrior. He's like a Prankatops in that if your opponent controls a monster and you control nothing, well, guess what? You usually don't. You could just special summon him. And he also has the effect that if your opponent controls more monsters than you, you can destroy a monster on their field. So I was like, oh, that's cool. I specialed him once, and he got banished with that Ice Dragon's Prison card. So yeah, this is what happens when you try to be cute. Like I said, my extra deck was completely irrelevant. With really this being the only thing I went into to both confuse people and have a quick turn pop, because Trident is still a fantastic card. Literally everything else had absolutely no real thing. If I were to change anything, I would probably keep the Cowboys, the Tiger King, maybe the Dweller, definitely this Mosquito guy, or this Beedrill guy, but all of these cards would most likely just be all of those fusion cards you could use in the Dragma matchup. I guess the last most important thing of this is my side deck. And I actually opted to go with Twin Twisters because there's more people at the particular local I was at that like to play stun decks, and that was an incredibly good choice on my part because I came to realize I can't afford the life point payment of Cyclone very well. The Evenlies were also a last minute decision. I didn't resolve it once, but I was more confident that this was a better pick than a lot of the things I had been trying, but odds are these won't last if I play this deck another week. Regeki and Harpy's Feather Duster, they're good. You got Lightning Storm, you can play that over these because it's more versatile, but yeah. Now these cards right here, cited in every single game too, and I regret nothing. This card overperforms when it needs to. This card was fantastic because against the Unchained guy, I put it on his field and returned it to my hand and didn't have to care. And then this card is still absolutely insanely good. There you go, people. From concept to locals, Yosenju's. I very much enjoy this deck and think it is an absolutely fantastic, like, just kind of, rogue, fun pick for when you kind of need a deck that does something consistently well, but at the same time isn't just one singular line of play. It has an absolutely fantastic long game, but it can occasionally deal with issues of top deck wars not being fun. But the gimmick of these guys returning to your hand can lead to a host of play scenarios that are quite interesting against a multitude of decks. If you guys like this style of video, let me know. I know this is a lengthy one, and there was a lot of random stuff that went on in the process of making this, but yeah. This is Meh, pigandmeh, signing out.